2.1. Stem and leaf histograms, percentiles. All right, so they're giving us a stem and leaf plot. Shows house sale prices over the last week in Tacoma. What was the most expensive house sold? All right, so what is a stem and leaf plot? Let me come over here and make one real quick. And I think it'll then make sense. Stem and leaf plot. Okay. A stem leaf here in focus. Stem and leaf plot. So what is it? So basically, let's suppose we had some scores on the next exam. 89, 73, 64, 92, blah, 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 blah. Well, here, let me do a couple more. 87, 69, 78, 77. Okay, so if I was to take those numbers and put them in a stem and leaf plot, what that means is I would go the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, and then I would put next to them the various numbers. So 89, I'll put a 9 next to the 8. That represents 89. Is there another 80s? Yeah, there it is, 87. Does that make sense? So this is a way of displaying data. It's a way of organizing data called a stem and leaf plot. These are the stems. Over here on this side, these are called the stems. And over here, these are the leaves. Okay, let's do the 90s next. There's a 92. That's all there is on the 90s. Is there some 70s? 73, 78, 77. Are there some 60s? 64, 69. Done. That would be the stem and leaf display for that data. What does it do? It organizes it a little bit. Makes it quicker to see what's there. Makes it quicker to see the high is 92, the low is 64. Where are most of the scores? Kind of in the 70s and 80s, sort of in the middle. Just a way of organizing data. If you turn it on its side, it's basically a bar chart. It's like a sideways bar chart, which we're going to do in this section too.
So it does have to go in order, so it can't go like 69.
Right. Yeah, technically this should... Oh, yeah. That was good, huh? These are out of order, huh? Yeah, so you would reorder it. Oh, you meant on the...
Like on... You have it like...
There's a million ways. It's whatever they say. There's no hard, fast rule. Yeah, so yeah, you can just always organize it more and more and more. So see how these are out of order? Probably would be better to go 7 first, then 9. Okay. These are a little bit out of order. 3, 7, 8. These already were in order. Yeah, so that's even better.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're all stem plots. This is a better stem plot on that. So with that in mind, here's a stem plot of some house prices. Stem and leaf. Plot above shows house sales prices over the last week in Tacoma. What was the most expensive house sold? So first off, notice these are hundreds of thousands, these stems, and these are tens of thousands. So what's the most expensive house sold? This and this, huh? So that's, what does this 3 right here mean? 300,000, right? Hundreds of thousands, 300,000. And what does this mean? This means 30,000. So it's going to be 330,000, right? That means 30,000. So altogether, it means 330,000 was the most expensive house sold. Does that make sense how I pegged that? Right? Because these are tens of thousands. 3 times 10 is 30,000. 330,000 is the answer they want there. Okay, question 2. Use the following stem and leaf plot. Find the 5-number summary for the data by hand. The 5-number summary. Okay. So they're giving me a bunch of data. And can you tell what those numbers are? This is 11 and 16. This is 26, 28, and 28. This is 36, 38. This is 45. Everybody see how I'm reading those? 45, 46, and 48. You don't have to write. If you can just tell, then you can skip this step. 50, 54, another 54, 55, and 57, and bottom row, 63 and 64. Now they're going to ask me, to do what's called a 5-number summary. 5-number summary. What I'm going to do for the 5-number summary is, and they tell me to do it by hand. I'm going to refuse to do it by hand. It's just a big pain by hand. And I'm just going to use this. So here it is. So we'll pick this up. So we got 3 minutes. Let me just show you real quick what the let me just write out the steps. So you want to have your TI graphing calculator on Wednesday. We will do these on the TI. So it's super easy on the TI. I'll just write out real quick what you do, and we'll do more. So if you have it, you can follow me real quick. Basically, you have to put all of this data in a list in your TI calculator. Here's what you do. You hit the Stat button on your TI calculator, which is right second row from the top in the middle. You hit that Stat button. When you hit Stat, you'll get a menu. You're already on Edit. That's perfect. Just hit Enter on the Edit menu. And you'll get columns with lists on your calculator. Move the arrow up to the top of L1. So go up right to the top of L1, press Clear, and then Enter. And I know you're probably not all getting all of this right now. I'll slow it down and do it more slowly next week, and Crystal and I will bounce around and make sure everybody can do it. I mean, next Wednesday. Make sure everybody can do it who has the TI calculator. Hit Clear and Enter. It'll clear list 1. And then put all of these data down L1. You just type all those numbers into L1, write down the list. Just write, so in L1 it'll become 11, 6 times, grab 11, 16, 26, 28, 26, 28, etc. Just type them all down L1, and when you're done, you're almost there. All you got to hit now is Stat one more time, move over to Calculate, and hit Enter, actually twice because it asks you for something which is exactly what you want. Hit Enter twice, and all 5 of your numbers will just pop out. These 5 numbers we need, 5-number summary, it'll crank them all out for you automatically with these presses of the buttons. So that's what we're going to do on Wednesday.